Oh, hey, welcome back to the movies, pal. Your friendly neighborhood master of chaos here with you again. Thank you for joining me. Incidentally, this mug is available in the merch store, which helps support this channel because I'm not monetized here on YouTube. Long story. Those of you who know I've explained it 1,000 times. Anyway, if you're interested, go check out the merch store. Link in the description, as well as my Letterboxd and things like that, where on Letterboxd, incidentally, I review stuff that I don't cover on the channel. As a matter of fact, I cover about 5% on the channel. Everything else I do over on Letterboxd. So go check me out and follow me over there. Okay, today, I know why you're here. Come on in. You have a seat saved. As always, we're talking Vinegar Syndrome, and specifically another double feature that they released here for March 2022. But not just any double feature. Not because of the movies, but because of the format. Today we're going to be talking about a Schizoid, not a Schizoid, Schizoid, and X-Ray, starring the lovely, the talented, the puffy-nippled Barbie Benton. I have thoughts about all these movies, but the important thing is about this double feature is that they're both in 4K. Is it worth it? Do these movies warrant a 4K upgrade? Are the movies worth watching at all? We're going to talk about that today. The main problem with a double feature is sometimes you have one of the movies. This has been the case with me twice. Not because I have both of these movies, but because I already have X-Ray, and on the other double feature, I already had Slaughterhouse Rock. I mentioned that in that review. I hate double dipping. I hate owning a movie twice. Here, there's a little more benefit to me keeping it because I don't have X-Ray on 4K. But do I need X-Ray on 4K? We'll get to that. Let's kick things off with Schizoid, a movie that I was familiar with, and I thought I had seen it. But revisiting here, or I should say visiting here for the first time, I realized I had never seen this movie. Schizoid runs 1 hour and 29 minutes. What a cast! Christopher Lloyd, Richard Hurd, Craig Wasson, Donna Wilkes' boobs, and Kinski's return to Vinegar Syndrome's catalog. Now, it's clear why Kinski agreed to do this movie, besides the payday, and that's because he gets to make out with half-naked or fully naked women. What we have here is your basic serial killer thriller, with a young woman being targeted by a mysterious individual, and the police set about protecting her while trying to track the killer down. There are two problems with this movie. The first being that the energy of this movie is very low. As a matter of fact, this is Kinski's most bland and controlled performance ever in any movie. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Klaus Kinski plays the normal guy.
What? Bullshit. What the fuck?
You must be kidding, aren't you?
100% not kidding. Why would you hire crazy-ass Klaus Kinski to play the regular guy? That makes absolutely no fucking sense. The second problem with the movie is that it just kind of limps along in a lackadaisical manner, so I found myself losing interest throughout the movie and just kind of checking out of the story here and there. There is a little bit of blood and some nice boobs, but the pacing kills the tension and the movie ends up feeling almost like a vanilla TV movie, and that's unfortunate. Now, don't expect unhinged Kinski because that's going to set you up for disappointment when it comes to this movie. As it is, it's a fine time waster, but it won't be anybody's favorite psycho killer movie. When it comes to 4K, yeah, the picture looks great, but this isn't the kind of movie that needs 4K whatsoever. The film's color palette is so drab and monotone, so 4K does fuck all for this movie when it comes to revealing any kind of hidden layer or hidden beauty to its drab frame. I still stand by my statement that not everything needs a 4K upgrade, and this is a perfect example. Schizoid isn't bad by any means, but it's pretty standard. This is very formulaic, psycho killer, serial killer, slasher killer type movie. I mean, it doesn't even have the energy of a slasher movie, to be fair. It feels almost like another example from the Vinegar Syndrome catalog, Don't Answer the Phone. So it feels something like that. Very close to Killer's Delight. Maybe a little more higher intensity than Killer's Delight. But those types of movies, that's kind of what you get with Schizoid here. And the fact that Kinski is neutered also leaves you scratching your head, because you have this powerhouse in your movie, and then you have him deliver probably the most milquetoast performance I've ever seen Kinski give.
It's disgusting.
Now, before I get into the special features, I do want to show you how this is divided, because it's 4K and Blu-ray. So you don't need to have your 4K player if you don't have one yet. And you can watch it on Blu-ray. Here's the 4K for Schizoid, 4K for X-Roy. Remember when that guy was called Roy? He's not called Roy anymore. That's X-Roy. X-Ray. Then you get Schizoid and X-Ray on a Blu-ray by itself. All the special features, FYI, are on the Blu-ray. Let's talk about Schizoid's features. We get a brand new interview with Schizoid's writer-director David Paulson. We get a brand new interview with actress Donna Wilkes, who you would know from Jaws 2 and the Angel series, and she's just amazing. And you get to see her naked in this, which is quite fantastic. Then you get a brand new interview with Schizoid makeup artist Erica Uland, as well as a brand new interview with Schizoid actress Flo Lawrence. Schizoid has the bulk of the special features, but it has the bulk of the boredom as well. This is definitely the lesser of the movies here, which is unfortunate, but it does have a couple things of note, namely an amazing cast, a young performance by Christopher Lloyd, Donna Wilkes' beautiful naked body. That's wonderful to watch. But the lead here is so boring. The main actress here, she's it's so dull, which is the main problem with the movie. It doesn't really deliver the shocks that you want it to deliver.
Disappointed!
Mga bobo!
However, it's not bad. It's okay. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Schizoid, you could do worse. 3 stars for Schizoid, Klaus Kinski's most uninteresting performance of all time. And I hate saying that because I love the guy, but man, well, I can't say I love the guy. I kind of fucking hate him too, because he's kind of a dick. He's a violent, perverted asshole. But you want to know it from this performance, which is, well, there's that one scene where he's spying on his naked daughter taking a shower. That's odd. Before I get to X-Ray, let's take a look at this beautiful slip, which is a selling point for most people. I think most people pick it up for the art. Look at this. Of course, this is the original poster art, I believe. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I believe is the case. I do like that. Very, very lovely. Now, this is a problem that I think a lot of people are having now, is that only one title is on the spine. So when you put it on your shelf, you can only show one title. Now, I put it, obviously, in spine order and VS catalog order. So if I wanted to watch X-Ray, which I would, this is the second time I've seen it on here on the 4K. If I wanted to rewatch, some puffy nipple action, I'd have to remember that it was on the Schizoid disc, which I don't think I will forget. But this is going to be an issue, and I hope they fix this in the future. Incidentally, have you subscribed? Because you should. You really, really should. That way you and I get to hang out again. And gosh, I would love for that to happen. And grab a cup of coffee together. And talk about nipples. It's a blast. I hope you'll come back. I really hope you do. And for those of you who have returned, I had a feeling I'd see you again. Let's flip the reversible slip and talk about X-Roy. Just kidding. X-Ray. This is the semi-classic hospital-based slasher. I mean, I think this is probably more well-known than Schizoid. I know I'm more familiar with it than I am with Schizoid. It is interesting how you can just kind of pick what movie you want to highlight. This other side, of course, highlights X-Ray, starring the lovely Barbie Benton, Playboy Playmate extraordinaire, who has a very awkward nude scene in the movie, but hey, at least it's there.
Nice.
Thank the Lords. Let's talk plot. X-Ray runs 1 hour and 29 minutes. I was reminded of this fact upon rewatching this 4K, but this is a long-lost Valentine's Day horror movie. The lovely Barbie Benton, ex-Playboy Playmate, faces off against a lovesick psycho in the creepiest hospital in Los Angeles. Now here we get a full-blown slasher movie with some crazy, bloody kills, thank God. The MVPs of the movie, however, are Barbie's puffy nipples, because, of course, they are. Man, she's a good-looking woman. I will say that. She's not a bad actress either. Not amazing, not terrible. But they didn't cast her for her acting. One element I hated from this movie, though, was the fact that every character is suspicious or plays their parts in a suspicious manner, making everyone a red herring, and it just gets a little ridiculous. It's almost like all these nurses at this hospital hate our main character for some unknown reason. Another thing I didn't love is that our main character, Susan, is just kind of waiting around for most of the movie, and that's just not interesting or compelling stuff, and should act as an example to future screenwriters as what not to do with your character. Screenwriting tip, free of charge. If your main character is just waiting around for people to talk to, if she's just sitting down, oh, I'm waiting for Dr. So-and-so. Oh, sit here and wait a minute. Okay, lay down here and we'll be with you in a moment. If your character is not active in the story, then you don't have a character. You don't have a story. That's not your main character anymore. Now you're doing a disservice to her, to the story, and the audience. Keep that in mind. The film really picks up for me at the hour mark, and that's because Susan finally knows something is wrong, and she becomes an active participant in the plot. Wouldn't you know it, that's all you needed to get me on board. Before that, despite the nude scene and some of the great kills, the film felt really, really sluggish. Now, this is a semi-decent slasher film, but there's a reason this isn't a household name when it comes to slasher movies. When it comes to the 4K transfer, it looks fine, but this is not the movie that benefits from 4K. We have the same problem that we had with Schizoid. We have another drab movie with a very flat color palette, and the 4K doesn't really do much for this film whatsoever. Maybe it makes the blood pop a little bit, but it's honestly not going to change anybody's mind. You know, if they hated the movie, seeing it in 4K is not going to, show them a whole new world. In case you were wondering if I was going to toss in a funny clip of, a whole new world from Aladdin, well, you're mistaken, because copyright claims are a bitch, and Disney is the biggest bitch. Now, in terms of how these two movies are similar and deserve to be in a double feature, I guess you could say that they're both about weak protagonists, and they're both kind of slasher movies, and they both end abruptly, which is kind of an odd feature. But the settings are so different and the plots are so different that it does feel kind of a stretch to include these movies in any kind of a 2-pack. Special features-wise, FYI, X-Ray kind of gets the shaft. All they get is a brand new making-of documentary featuring interviews with the cast and crew, and it runs, I think, under 20 minutes. Then you get an archival interview with X-Ray director Boaz Davidson, which is also about just about under 20 minutes. That's X-Ray, starring the puffy-nippled Barbie Benton. I hate to keep mentioning that, harping on that, because it sounds like I'm a perv, but hey, I appreciate the female form. I appreciate it so much.
Hell yeah, nigga. Mga bobo!
So much, and I know you do too. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? You look at a pair of balls, everyone thinks balls are weird, but I think everyone likes boobies. I know, it's the universal language. Well, the universal sign for happiness. Let's go with that. 3 stars for X-Ray. 3 stars. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not great. Keep in mind, the pace is really off. It's a very slow movie, but the kills are really good. And there's a really, it's an awkward nude scene, but it's pretty lengthy nude scene. There's a close-ups of it, and it's fine. It's good stuff. It definitely delivers. But the movie, I hate that the character is so disconnected from the plot that it feels like we're wasting time for that first hour. And then when she finds out there's a killer and she's in danger, then it becomes a movie. But before that, you're like, is she just literally sitting around waiting for the plot to happen to her? It's a pet peeve of mine. It may not be for you, but the movie's good. 3 stars. X-Ray, Schizoid, why are they on a double feature? I don't know. Okay, let's call it a day. Time to close the theater down. I love you very much. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you again soon. I'm going to grab the curtain, pull it across the silver screen here and bid you doo-doo because the theater is closed. It's like nipples. I don't know what I'm doing there. For now.